Let's go to Oshkosh.
We're going to go to Oshkosh and talk to Ryan.
Ryan, do you know why I say that way? Do you know why I say Oshkosh? You
Well,
know why, Ryan?
He looks young.
Ryan, how old are you?
I am 37 years old.
All right.
Yeah, maybe.
No, it's too young. No, it's too young. We used to. Oh, I hear myself. Ryan, I used to watch All-Star Wrestling every Saturday night. Okay. And you know who the big sponsor was for All-Star Wrestling?
Tell me, was it Oshkosh?
Brought to you by Plywood Oshkosh.
Plywood.
Plywood
Free with any style, any price range. Free for each foot of upper and lower kitchen cabinets. A foot of our regular countertop free at Plywood Oshkosh.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay, for such a conservative community, but that worked. It worked. Whoever came up
What
with that.
nationality would that be? German?
Probably.
I don't know.
Probably a little bit more.
I love it. So
Anyway,
that's where I came from, Ryan.
And it really branded that, and
Absolutely.
and it worked. Which I bet when they came in and they played that commercial to the owner and his team, I bet some people said, "We're not going to use her.
Yeah.
I mean, we need a Packer. We need somebody from the Midwest." And whoever went with her, that was a good move.
'Cause it
and
stood
probably
out.
gutsy. Oh yeah, it
Well,
was different.
then they expanded to Green Bay, so it was Plywood Oshkosh, Green Bay and Oshkosh.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
And she
But the
is-
way she said,
It was
so
so
cool.
50 years later, we're still talking about it. You know,
Absolutely.
they just really did something right.
So
But
that's
anyway,
where it came from, Ryan. Are
That's
you
what-
Oshkosh born and raised?
I am born and raised, lived here my whole life. I absolutely love this community.
Because
Love
there's a lot of Rasmussens in the UP. You're related to any of the Rasmussens in the UP?
it. We're taking over the world. Yes.
Are you related to some of them
No,
up there?
I'm not, but we're all taking over the world.
All right, fine.
all right. So the area, Oshkosh Area Community Pantry, you do have a giving community. I'm sure that's what's kept you there. So did you know Father Carr, Marty Carr, place to be?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, he was at my first swearing in and did the religious part of it. I was at his first mass. Just a great guy, great guy. And I know that place is still there. He died, but I'm glad his place is living on. So tell me, the need in Oshkosh, is it growing, declining? What are you seeing?
Yeah, the need is just incredible, and really, that's nationwide. So we're no different. But right here in this community, we can run a lot of stats, and right now we factor about 31% of our Winnebago County residents are facing food insecurity right now.
Wow, 30%, 1 in 3.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, and the need is just continuing to grow. I've been at the pantry for about 2.5 years now. And when I first got to the pantry, we were helping about 1,300 families a month. Right now, as we sit here today, I'm doing about 2,300 plus. It's just been incredible. I mean, a 70% growth just between 2023 and 22. We're on track already. We're doing another 20% increase on top of that right now. So, the need is crazy out there. But there's a lot of reasons for that, right? I mean, life is happening, right? Everything is more expensive than it was before. I'm
going to say this, Ryan. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm wondering, something over the last few years opened my eyes, and it's kind of partially because of Jim. And I mean this in a really good way. He works at the NEW Community Shelter, which is a homeless shelter, but more than a homeless shelter, they're advocates for helping people get back on their feet, not just a flop house type thing. Go get drunk and here's a place for you to sleep. It's not that kind of place at all. But what I'm saying is, in meeting some of his people, many of these people were successful people. It's not as far as a drop as you would ever think to go from being up here and life is good, I'm mom and pop in the home, to not having a job, not be able to afford rent, not be able to afford to buy a house. And where do you go? It is not as steep of a drop as I used to think, is it?
No, it really isn't. I mean, some of my favorite examples are really, folks that go from a 2-income household to 1 income. All of a sudden, you're putting yourself in a food insecure situation and really having to make decisions on where you're going to spend your dollars, right? We've got some folks at the pantry who, have all kinds of stories to tell. We've got, one guest who is going through a nasty divorce. So all of the money right now is being tied up into lawyer bills and all those things. But those are exactly the types of people that we want to make sure that we're there for. And selfishly as a pantry, those are the folks that are only, utilizing services for a short time, right? There's something that's happened in their life. We want to be there to make sure that they have their food needs, and then they can adjust that.
And another thing, though, is like when I was in real estate and some of the foreclosed houses I went to, it's like, Jesus, a nice house. But they didn't have great medical insurance, and something somewhat catastrophic happened, and it wiped them out. I mean, even I'm old enough now to be on Medicare, and I thought, oh my God, that's free. You get free everything. And I went to the dentist a few weeks ago, and they covered like, I don't even think it was 10%. And I had to write a check for like $900 as I was leaving the dentist's office.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, the world is crueler. It's tougher than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Which is part of the reason why with our pantry, we like to consider ourselves to be a very barrier-free pantry, right? So there are only two prerequisites that you need to be able to utilize our services. You just have to provide proof of who you are and proof of address that you just live within our service area. That's it. I mean, we don't ask for income thresholds. We don't ask for anything else. If you self-describe yourself as feeling food insecure, we're going to make sure that you get the help you need.
All right. I was going to ask about your process. That's not asking too much.
No, we don't think so. And along those same lines of being barrier free, we also want to make our pantry experience so much better. And so, unlike a traditional pantry model where you go to a pantry and you receive a box of food, we're set up just like a grocery store. And there are not many of us that are doing it exactly in that way, but there are a few. Or different variations of it. And we just find that, it allows our guests to retain so much more dignity.
Right.
The power of choice is just so important to our guests rather than us telling, the guests, here's what's good enough for you. Come on,
take it or leave it.
Things. Yeah, exactly. Pick the things that you would like, just like you would in any other grocery store.
We're with Ryan Rasmussen, Oshkosh Area Community Pantry. You opened my eyes when you said 31% of the people in your county need some help with food.
And they do. And, like we all learned in school, with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, they need food and shelter before they can start making better decisions or good decisions or decisions, period. And that needs to be provided. And if the government's not stepping up like I don't know if we really need them, but I'm sure a lot of your things come from the community, right? The donations.
Yeah, there's some major ways that we get our food operations is one through Feeding America Eastern Wisconsin. They're a major partner with us. We do have a government program that we participate in called TFAP. It's the Emergency Food and Assistance Program through DATCAP. And then the rest of it is all through community outreach, and whether that's folks hosting food drives or donating money to us, or corporations in the community that are willing to give back, or granting, or foundations. And so it's really important to have that community backing, and we really just feel as a staple in this community. We've been in this community for 15 years already, and we've really gotten some good positive community support.
So, Ryan, where are you located? What are your hours? And Johnny and I are
and how can we help?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are located at 2551 Jackson Street. It's inside the St. Vincent de Paul building. We actually have a great relationship with St. Vinny's here in Oshkosh. They own the building. We lease some space. So when you walk in the building, just hang a left, you run right into us. But it allows for some wraparound services because St. Vinny's also has some different opportunities for guests as well. So we're located there. Hours of operation Monday to Thursday. Monday 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So that way we've got some evening hours for folks that might be working. Tuesday to Thursday from 10 a.m. until 2:45 p.m.
Are there qualifications, Ryan? I mean, do you vet people at all, or?
Not really. No, that's
Okay.
the great thing about us being barrier free. As long as you have an ID, you live in our service area, we're going to get you food. Our shoppers right now can shop 2 times a month. So twice a month, they're able to come in, utilize our grocery store, and grab some of those essentials that they need.
Outstanding.
That is. And thank you for doing that. Like I said,
I can't think of anything worse than a little kid being hungry.
Right. Well, if they're unsheltered, that's
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
But sleeping in your
that's-
car, that
thing.
happens. What? Go ahead.
We've got the school pantry program, and it's a great point as well. In the Oshkosh Area School District right now, there's about 45% of those kiddos that are food insecure.
Wow.
There are only 2 schools in Oshkosh that don't qualify for free or reduced lunch, and so we developed a program where we're actually pumping fresh fruits, so apples, oranges, bananas, and then granola bars and fruit bars into the school district. Right now, 4,000 students a week are utilizing that program.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the size of my hometown. That'd be like everybody in my hometown. 4,000 people.
But you got to start young, right? Because science proves food insecurity at a young age, especially during a learning developmental age, it will set you up for success if you're feeling hungry and you're feeling full. You'll be a much better student.
Right. And I think sometimes, as much as you hope the parents know, sometimes we have to work through the kids. And when it comes to nutrition, there's a lot of programs focused on the schools, and for 2 reasons. One is you want to get right to the kid, but secondly, they can learn that maybe they're not learning that at home, how they eat carrots instead of cookies, that kind of stuff. And that's great that you have.
How
that
did you get
program
involved with this, Ryan? What's the passion?
I tell you, I have been in food, beverage, hospitality, large scale events my entire career. So I've always been in the food business. Always wanted to get into nonprofits, just didn't find that right avenue. Just to kind of give you a little background of me, this is going to tell a little bit of a cool story. But I spent 10 years up in your neck of the woods, working at Lambeau Field. I was working for Levy Restaurants, working my way through Lambeau for a long time. After Delaware came in, I looked for something else, wanted to do something different, came back to Oshkosh, worked at EAA for almost 10 years, and then winded up at the food pantry here. And again, always just wanted to get into the nonprofit sector, just didn't find that right avenue. And this one just made sense. It just brought back all of the things about the food industry that I love, but also being able to give back to this community, which is just so important to me, especially being born and raised here, being able to help our friends and neighbors here is just incredible for me.
That's fantastic.
So let's talk a little bit. If we got a couple of minutes here, not that it's growing, that you have a lot of people that need the food, and I'm just wondering if you have any suggestions that maybe haven't gone anywhere because of, I don't know, bureaucracy or something. I just know that here in Green Bay, we talk about food deserts, right? Where it's easier to find an orange soda than an orange. And that's not a good idea. I mean, you can't have just these gas stations. They have to expand that a little bit to at least some fresh fruits and vegetables. But two things. I want to ask about your demographics, that 31%. And I just, at the shelter, we're seeing more elderly, which is really scary. I mean, if you're in a homeless shelter when you're elderly, that's tough. It's not like, younger people that are like, I'm going to get my act together. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to go get a job with roofing or, landscaping or CNA. Yep. So we see more of that. We're addressing that properly. But tell me, you have some suggestions on how we can get that number less than 1 in 3?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I mean, I think when you think about, just the food industry as a whole, everything is expensive. So the more that we can do to put, money in the pockets of people is going to be helpful. Right. But the next biggest thing is really, rather than talking about food insecurity, let's talk about nutrition insecurity. Let's make sure that we can get fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, fresh meats into the hands of folks that really need them. Because, I've been talking about this for a while now, which is, I wish that I could solve nutrition insecurity, but I'm still dealing with food insecurity. So once I can do one, once I fix one, I hopefully can fix the other. But we've got to find a way to be able to get some more fresh fruits and vegetables into the hands of folks. That's why, especially with summertime coming up right now, farmers markets are coming back. For folks that are using EBT, SNAP, get into your farmers markets and being able to use those. Most farmers
they take that now. Yeah, they do, right?
Yeah, exactly. And they'll double your amount, which is incredible. So use it. Those are just some of the ways. And obviously getting into the kiddos, we've got to take a look at, maybe how school lunches are prepared as well, and making sure that we've got enough for the kiddos there that is sustainable. Right. So there's a lot of work to do, but there's a lot of great things that's already happening.
Right. Something that we're trying to do is get them to do some of their own gardening. They raise their vegetables, because then it's kind of, the full circle. I kind of planted the seed and now I can eat these carrots or kohlrabi or whatever they're doing. But yeah, I'm glad you're working on this, Ryan, because we really, we need this. We need someone like you in every community.
Yeah, that's true. Ryan Rasmussen, Oshkosh Area Community Pantry. 1 in 3 households need some help with food. Ryan, thanks for everything you do in your community.
Thanks, guys. This was great. Loved being here. So thank you so much.
Love having you on, buddy. We'll visit you soon.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. We're going to set a quick break. Maino the Mayor, back after this.
Last night